I cannot believe GW has trusted us with the new Space Marine Codex.
Trusted you.
I know.
Us, me. Yes, we have them, and we're very excited. They are amazing.
Right, guys, we're going to be going through all of the new information here, isn't it?
Yeah,
There's so much.
So much. There are so many combinations and stuff. We're going to try and touch on it as quick as we can, but I think it's going to be a few videos for this one, Andy.
Yeah. Right, let's dive straight in.
Let's get on to it.
So we do regular tactics videos, all aimed at trying to make Wes here a better 40k player.
Well, trying to, but one of us won a tournament last weekend, mate.
Yeah, one of us only came second.
Yeah,
skills,
first loser. Yeah. But we don't talk about it.
Yeah. So, should we dive straight into these books?
Yeah, so to talk about the overview of how they are, really. It's a little bit different to what we've had before, so...
Yeah. It's a huge book, though. There's so much.
Yeah.
Particularly after a night shift, I was just like, oh my god.
Oh, because you've pretty much got all the data sheets in there from the old codex, with the addition of the new Vanguard stuff as well, which is fantastic.
Good. So where should we start? Where should we start first?
We'll chat what's in the books, I guess.
Yep.
Yep.
Should we go over their special rules first of all?
Yeah, so in fact, to talk about the codex there, so the codex is pretty much the same as what you had before, and then you have two supplements which go on top of that, which in this case are the Ultramarines and the White Scars. Inside these books, it's kind of what you've had previously in the book in terms of you have warlord traits and chapter tactics and psychic powers for each of the chapters as well. So, and we'll cover them in a little bit more depth later, but there's quite a bit of information in these books as well, which really do flesh out the chapters themselves.
Yeah. I like the White Scars. I'm calling it now White Scars.
There's so many cool things in the White Scars. Right, so yeah, we want to run through the Defenders of Mankind.
Yeah, so absolutely. So first of all, you get the Angels of Death, don't you?
Yeah, what a great name.
Okay, so to start off with the basic stuff, you're going to get They Shall Know No Fear, same as it's always been. You're going to get Bolt of Discipline, which is again the same as it's been, same as it's been changed every few weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's been like 6 months now since it originally came in, but
yeah. So Bolt of Discipline is the same as it has been. And then you're going to get Shock Assault, which actually all Space Marine chapters get, even Blood Angels and stuff, don't they?
Death Watch and Grey Knights as well.
Yeah.
I think the Chaos guys as well get this.
Yeah. So essentially, you get an extra attack, don't you?
Yes.
If you were charged, or have a heroic intervention. So it's pretty much always first round of combat, unless your opponent heroically intervenes into you.
Yep.
That's about the only time you're not going to get an extra attack. So that's already a big win for Slam captains.
Yeah, extra attacks.
We're going to talk about how there's some things which are not big wins for Slam captains in there. Oh, God.
Yeah.
But yeah, bloody 40-point stupid Thunderhammers.
Oh, mate, but there's so much more in this book.
Okay, so some of us are salty about that one change, but let's carry on.
The book is phenomenal.
Yeah, apart from Thunderhammers. So then you're going to get Combat Doctrines. Wes, do you want to run me through that?
Yes, Combat Doctrines is essentially a phased rule that you get throughout the game. So you start off on Devastator, and then at some point you can switch to Tactical, and then you can switch to Assault. In essence, you're getting an additional AP for your weapons depending on what doctrine you're running.
Do you have to cycle through it in that way?
You have to cycle through it, but there are stratagems that allow you to artificially give it to one unit per turn as well.
Okay, but you have to move from one to the other to the other. You can't go straight for Assault.
No, not my understanding. No, it does seem you do have to go from Devastator Tactical to Assault, as I read it. So if the Devastator one is essentially heavy weapons, we'll get an additional AP.
Yeah, you do have to.
Yeah. If it's a tactical, then when you go to tactical, it's rapid fire and assault weapons get that additional AP, and then when you go to assault, it's pistol and close combat weapons getting that. So it's really quite nice, and it kind of flows with the battle as well. So it kind of fits with the theme of the Space Marines of heavy pounding, guys going in and assaulting with weapons, and then going actually into combat with knives and pistols.
Yeah, that's the fluffy version, but then you remember that a repulsor can get chapter tactics?
That's the big change with this. So that chapter tactics now for everybody, which is fantastic.
So now all those repulsor weapons, all the million shots with AP 0, AP -1, they're all now like AP -2 weapons.
Yes.
Because they're all heavy, aren't they? So you're going to be starting with repulsor.
They have a mixture, but yeah, as you go through, until they get
apart from their Stormbolter.
Until they get to Assault Doctrine, they're going to be getting some sort of benefit to their AP, which is great.
So I think that there's some really strong stuff in there. And I think, from playing Deathwatch this year and having that -1 AP ammo, and it really does do some work. I think it just makes that bolt gun what it should be.
Yeah, it really does actually. Especially things like the assault bolter, which is changed now as well because it's 3 shots, which is quite a good little change. But yeah, a bit of minus AP on that, spot on.
Right. What should we dive into next?
Should we talk about the newer units that have been
Yes.
put together? Got a few notes here. So the first one, the Impulsor.
The Impulsor. So it's dedicated transport.
Yes.
I'm going to choose a page of the book I'm not already on.
Yeah. Well, in fact, let's go back to the other one now.
No.
So the Impulsor is the new dedicated transport that's been brought out of Space Marines. It's kind of like a floating rhino, if I want in better terms. And it's got some really great bonuses to it.
Yeah.
My favourite one. In fact, let's talk about this. Essentially, it's a floating rhino. It's got 11 wounds, and then you can add several different things onto it to buff it. There are a couple of weapons that you can put onto it, or there's an orbital bombardment that you can put onto it. But my favourite one overall is the 4+ invulnerable shield.
Yeah, and it's a shield. It's in combat as well.
Yeah.
So you've just got a ridiculously survivable transport, but it has to take that instead of its main weapon. So, because at first I thought, "Oh, is this going to be another transport spam shenanigans?" But I think given that you could pretty much give it no weapons, you could give it 2 storm bolters and I think a couple of essentially and some frag storm grenade launchers, but. No, God, that's instead of your storm bolters. So you're literally making it 4-up invuln, or you're giving it the orbital bombardment, or you're giving it some weapons which are just okay.
Yeah, I think depending on people's makeup, it's going to be really good. But for me personally, that 4+ invuln on a toughness 7, 11 wounded model, and we worked out what 97 points. Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's very efficient. It gets the -2 to charge. Anyone hasn't played against that, that is huge.
Yes.
So all of a sudden you're getting an 11 to charge these things from Deep Strike.
Yeah.
This is not going to happen. You can't have a whole battle plan around that. Take it from 2 people who are playing the stupid golden custodies broken ass tanks.
I've only been playing a week, but it really.
I got them before they were cool, by the way.
It is really clutch. That -2 does make a big difference. So guys come in for deep striking. It's an 11-inch charge. They've got to get there, unless they're a White Scar, which we'll touch on a bit later.
Yeah. And they have the best rule. It's called the assault vehicle rule, which is brilliant because you can't assault after using it, which I just thought was brilliant.
It's getting out with the assault weapons. That's what it is.
Okay, so what it is. So after this model moved in your movement phase, if the model did not advance, any units embarked aboard can disembark, which is actually pretty good because it's got a 14-inch move.
Yeah.
But units that do not do so cannot be chosen to charge with that unit. It's just...
Yeah, it's like an assault cannon, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what a fantastic ability to have there, to be able to move at the field 14 inches, get out the 3 inches as well for your disembarkation, so 17 inches. Yeah, and then with some of the things you'll see in here later as well, that with the shooting element of this army, it really does put you in a very good situation to use some of the stratagems that we'll chat about later.
Okay.
Anything else to say about that one?
No, I think it's a strong choice there. I think it's more of a... It's just basic, because I feel Marines are quite squishy still. They haven't got a lot of things which increase the survivability. So if you want to go down a transport route, I think this is probably the way forwards.
Yeah.
Just for scoring objectives, just being on there, and actually that's going to take a lot of getting through a toughness 7 vehicle with a 4-up invuln.
Yeah, and in terms of efficiency with the Primaris units as well, lots of the other tanks have so many different weapons and stuff that kind of drop their efficiency or use. This is a very dedicated, at this point, transport to get you where it needs to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Great. Which one do you want to talk about next?
I'm going to choose it because I'm on the Berwick page. So I'm going to make me flick through this absolutely giant book. So the Invictor Tactical Warsuit, which looks like something out of what's that film called? The one with the blue people in it.
Avatar.
Yes. Yeah.
Also in the Aliens movie as well. Or,
yeah. I absolutely love the look of this thing. It looks so cool. I particularly like the heavy bolter pistol.
That's pretty neat, isn't it? You can more something draw and do the whole bring up to shoot.
Yeah. So again, this is a toughness 6 dreadnought basically, which doesn't actually have the dreadnought keywords. So that was a terrible analogy.
But it looks very much like the Redemptor dreadnought, doesn't it?
Yeah. So you can set this guy up 9 inches away. which is I think is actually really nice.
Yeah, because a lot of time with the dreadnoughts you struggle actually getting them up the board where you need them, but the fact that you can place this 9 inches away from the deployment zone of your opponents is fantastic. You're pretty much breathing down their neck straight away.
Which I think is really funny because Games Workshop just got rid of all the you start 9 inches away and assault people shenanigans.
Yeah, well, I like this one.
Yeah. So essentially it's got a power fist. So it's got a strength 14 power fist, -3 damage, 4 attacks base, and then it's going to get 1 extra one with the Angels of Death, isn't it? For when it charges in. So it's going to start 9 inches away. It's going to move 10 inches just in case there was a problem there.
Yep.
Yeah. And then it's going to punch you.
And what could you ask for?
I'll tell you what more you could ask for, because this is going to have the... Oh, it's not Phobos, is it? So you can't... I was just thinking you could do the whole Phantasm shenanigans with the Stratagem.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not Phobos, is it?
Yeah.
So we'll have to check that when we come to the Stratagem.
Yeah, there's a stratagem where you can reposition or redeploy 3 units, which is fantastic.
But I was just thinking that would have been really strong if it was on that, because you could put them all up front. If you didn't get first turn, you could just go and hide them somewhere.
Yeah, that would be great.
But no.
The playtesters have probably caught that one. They stopped Andy having fun, which is great. I like that.
I'm going to double check that in a minute. You can't do that because that would be ridiculous. So how many points was that one?
We worked that one out. 131 points.
Yeah. So yeah, toughness 6 warsuit.
Yeah.
Again, it's not bad. I just think that ability to just do a first turn charge is actually really quite nice, isn't it?
And it is that pressure element as well.
It is.
It's like a unit like that where people have to focus and do something about it.
Well, 300 points for 3 of these guys. Just drop them at the front and go, you have to deal with this.
Yeah.
And you can't shoot any of my 4 run tanks.
Right, we'll see where Andy's going. Good.
That's good.
So that's the Impulsor and the Invictus. How about the troops that we've got here, which is the Incursors? They're quite a chat about those, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, just gone past it.
There's so many...
There
Oh my god! This is what happens when you're on night shift and you get this book. I mean, my Deathwatch Codex literally has 1 unit, which is veterans.
Not used to multiple options.
No. So Incursors, they're I quite like some of their rules in this. I really like the idea of that. They're a Primaris Marine who can set up 9 inches away like a scout. So really, really strong. They have a multi-spectrum array, so they effectively ignore modifiers and ballistic skill modifiers. So why we were having a chat about this. This is actually quite cool because Calexis is around and they modify your ballistic skill to 6. So actually, that's not going to happen for these guys.
Similar to Reapers.
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
similar to Reapers on these ones, which are really nice as well. Things like Scouts the Rangers from the Eldari as well. Mandrakes, which I love. They're not going to be modifying either.
Yeah, so no negative to hit, no modifiers either of any way. So they're actually really strong, I think. Their weapons they're nothing particularly to write home about. I don't think a rapid fire one which ignores cover.
But then when you factor in some other things as well with the doctrines, winning on tactical trait with this, it's going to be a -1, ignoring cover.
It's not bad.
For clearing out screens and stuff, I think this is going to be great. So guardsmen hiding around, I think this would be a key one for clearing these bad boys out.
And they've got combat blades as well, so with tactical doctrines as well, with all the Angels of Death shenanigans, they're going to have 4 attacks apiece.
Yeah.
So that's not bad. 9 inches away, assault 3 inches, job done. And
they've got 19 points per model, which is...
And I guess it comes down to what do you want to use your scouts for? Is it actually you want them to be more survivable, in which case these are probably a superior option to scouts, or is it actually you just want to move block things like Imperial Knights, in which case these are probably just a bit more of an expensive thing, which are going to die anyway.
Yeah.
So it's really how are you going to build your army? Are they going to be a genuinely useful part of your army, or are they just going to be a throwaway screen unit?
Yeah, I still think that the screen are able. They're still pretty good for that. But they're just flexible at the same time as well. For me, I see these guys being used to counter that loyal 32. I think they're fantastic for that.
And you've got your smoke grenades, which are nice. And so instead of shooting, they can be -1 to hit.
Yeah.
Again, really quite useful if it's just there something to be a move blocking unit.
Yeah.
Again, it means that your opponent's just going to take that a lot more sort of firepower to remove
Yeah.
remove them. And then you've got the haywire mines, which I just think are hilarious.
This is great. So we had quite a chat about this beforehand. So essentially the haywire grenades is a little token that you put on the ground,
Yeah,
and as they pass over it, a unit such as D3 mortal wounds,
yeah.
and D3 plus 1 if it's a vehicle.
So it's one per unit, but you could either screen out your board, or you could just put them all in one place and say, whatever comes through here is just going to die.
Which is fantastic if the terrain is such that you're funneling knights or vehicles through things, then yeah, why not put 3 or 4 of these bad boys down there? It's only 1 per unit, but yeah, that's a really effective way of...
But essentially, each one of them is going to have a 7-inch radius, a 7-inch diameter, isn't it? Because you've got the 1-inch base, and then you're going to have a...
Yeah.
I'll see if I can model mine on big bases.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Put it on an Imperial Knight base.
Dinner plates coming down,
Yeah.
great, perfect.
Yeah.
Nice one, Andy.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't be an Andy. So that was it. Anything else to say on those guys?
No, I don't think so. There's not.
How about the infiltrators?
Yes, I mean these were one which came out a little time ago, but I think that we wanted to talk about them because they get quite a lot of buffs in this book, don't they?
Yeah.
Not the infiltrators, the snipers. I wanted to have a chat.
Oh, let's talk about the infiltrators first. As you're right next to it.
I was, but then I moved off the page.
Oh, fine.
This is like the worst thing for me. Always I'm going to tell you now. Get the digital version, unless you want to be like me, just flicking through this.
So what you do? I'll talk about the infiltrators.
I'm never going to find this page.
They're heavies, mate.
Okay,
They're heavy. So the infiltrators are fantastic because they have that bubble that you can't deep strike within 12 inches, which is fantastic for screening. Really, guys coming down for deep strike. I'll be getting some of these to play against Andy. What other buffs do they have?
Yeah, so I think the infiltrators, the what's it called, Omni Scramblers, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is huge. It's huge because 12 inches is the magic number for not being able to deep strike, not being able to charge even.
Yeah.
So if you've got to set up more than 12 away, you can't even declare a charge. Doesn't matter if you're a bloodlet bomb and you've got plus whatever to your charge, you've got a 3d6 charge. It doesn't matter. You can't declare that charge.
Yeah.
So they're actually ridiculously good from that point of view.
So both of these as well, the infiltrator and the Incursors, can take a sort of squad level apothecary, or
the Incursors can't.
Oh, can't they?
No.
Oh, sorry, it's just the infiltrators. A squad level apothecary, or they can take a command node, what's it called? Infiltration comms array.
Yeah, that's only the infiltrators.
Yeah, which is fantastic because it allows you to have the buffs from faux box characters as if they were within 6 inches the entire time.
Yeah. I'd have liked to have seen that a lot more with the rest of the codex, because I think that's a really cool way of not having to play Warhammer where you're bubbling up everything around auras. I think this is really cool. You can play a lot more fast and loose with your units.
Yeah.
I think that's going to lead, hopefully in the future, if they do that with more units, will lead to a much more dynamic way of playing.
Yeah, because it does get a bit Bubblehammer at times, and this is one of those ways that actually stops that.
So I think, it's a really nice little rule in there for them. So let's talk about the heavy ones, the snipers now. Well, they're called Eliminators, aren't
Eliminators.
they? Yeah, you see, I have read some of
the
this.
heavy support section.
Oh, just shut up.
We'll
get there at some point.
So Eliminators come in squads of 3, and there are 2 types of weapons you can take with these. It's the sniper bolt rifle and the
las Fusel.
The las Fusel is essentially an anti-tank weapon. I think it's strength 8, -3 or 4, and a flat 3 damage, which is fantastic.
They're like 15 points each, though.
It is 15 points each. They are a little bit squishy, but there are ways that you can make them better, and we can talk about that in a second.
So actually, for how many points is this unit? Say if you just have the sniper rifles on them.
Which are 72 points for
3 guys. So they get +2 to their armor save when they're in cover. Well, no, it's not even just when they're in cover. When they're receiving the benefits of cover.
Yep.
So that's really big, because actually if you take these guys as Raven Guard, they receive the benefits of cover even when they're in the open, don't they?
Yes, they
That's
do.
specifically what it says. So even out in the open, if they're more than 12 inches away, these guys have a 1-up save.
That's pretty good.
And
stick them in cover with Raven Guard as well, and they're -1 to hit with a 1-up save.
for 70 whatever points, 72
points.
72 points. I think you can hide them out of line of sight if you need to.
And if you put the Chaplain back there as well, which we'll talk about later, you can get a 5+ after damage save as well, which is makes these things really resilient for 72 points. That's before you even get onto the weapons.
I think actually just having that sniper capability in your army is absolutely huge. They're only 36 inches, but I think that's really good, some of those guns on there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you get 3 guns. You get the Executioner round, which is heavy 1, strength 5, -1, 1 damage. Or you get the Hyperfrag round, which is D3 shots, 1 damage. Or you get the Mortis round, which is heavy 1, strength 5, D3 damage at -2.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, because they're heavy weapons, aren't they? So at the start of the game, you're going to be getting the tactical doctrines on them for an extra -1
Yeah,
AP.
the Devastator Doctrine, yeah.
Yeah, I read this, yeah. And if you really wanted to, you could do +1 to the hit and wound rolls by not letting your sergeant shoot. That's guided aim, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not convinced whether it's worth dropping 1 shot
Yeah.
to get that, but
Maybe if there was one guy you definitely wanted to hit, and he had 3 wounds.
just maybe. It was always a bit easier with Devastators because the sergeant never had a gun.
Yeah. If it was 6 guys or 7 guys in the squad, yeah, I'd probably do that. I'd have to work out the math to actually see if that's worthwhile doing.
Okay, but they've got one other amazing rule which actually makes me really want to take 3 units of these guys. So it's called covering fire, and I think this was covered on the community page, wasn't it? Which essentially, the first time they get charged, they can run away. Which is so good. So they can't advance, but apart from that, they can move. But I think the best thing with that is that there's a lot of things in the game which can't interact on certain areas. So your Imperial Knight, you can have these all on the ground floor, bait out a charge, and move up onto the first floor of a ruin. Then they can't charge you.
Simon, don't watch this bit.
I'm going to annoy Simon so much with these.
This will be great.
But seriously, that will be amazing because there's certain things in the game which just can't go in ruins.
Yeah. And there's some other nice things as well. You can shoot characters that are out of line of sight, or units that are out of line of sight as well, which is really nice. And if you take them with, I think it's the Imperial Fist, you're ignoring cover. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
it's really good stuff.
But I just think, a 1-up armor save, a -1 to hit, and the ability to run away.
Yeah.
For 72 points. That is incredible.
Yeah.
That does, and adds a new dynamic to your army that most armies don't run with snipers. So I just think that's huge.
And what I like about this new codex is there's so many little tactical plays in this.
Yeah.
The Space Marines feel tactical again, which I really love.
And these are probably my favourite models in the book.
They did a great job there. Have you actually seen them in live?
Yeah, they are.
Great.
When I first started playing 40k again, it was actually the normal scout snipers I really liked, and these just look so much better.
Yeah.
So that's them. What other ones do you want to talk about?
The suppressor units, fast attack.
Oh, which way is that, Wes?
Left. Great.
You know, at the start of the video, we're like, I'll take the book. And you take these books which we're just not talking about yet.
Yeah, this is a bad mistake.
We're going to stick with it now. I'm going to really irritate you.
So the suppressors, they came through in the Vanguard supplement that came out back earlier in the year.
Oh, is this the jump pack ones with the
jump pack
giant
ones.
autocannons?
Yeah. So we worked out these to be about 94 points for 3 of them.
I've got mixed feelings about these guys. They're essentially a jump pack unit which suffers the -1 to hit from moving heavy weapons.
Yeah.
Their suppressing fire sounds good at first because they can switch off Overwatch for a unit, but most of the times you actually want that. It's against something big like an Imperial Knight, and you've actually got to kill a model in the unit, so it's not as...
Well, if you kill the knight, it's not going to be able to Overwatch it.
Yeah, boom. Job done.
Job done.
Yeah.
No, there is tactical play in it. I do like the tactical play in this. It reminds me very much like the old... I forget what it was, Death Jester rules that used to have something similar. It's nice occasionally to be able to just take something down and have it effects once it's dead.
I just think the fact you've got to kill a model takes it from being something which is quite good to something which is definitely situational.
Yeah.
And even against Tau, it's not going to work because all the rest of their models can fire anyway.
If it had been on a hit, that'd be really nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I think it'd probably be bordering too good there. So
I think they're all the new units, aren't they?
Yeah, I think that's all the new units you want to talk about, really.
Should we talk about the old unit, which is awesome again?
Which old unit's that, Andy?
It's a very angry unit.
Really?
Yeah. Let's talk about the Chaplain.
The Chaplain! So, Chaplains have got really good. They've as part of the new codex, where you had like psychic powers, you now have what's called the litanies of battle. The litanies of battle are 6 different powers essentially you can choose from with a chaplain.
I'm there. I am there.
And six different powers that you can choose from. You choose the beginning of the game essentially, and it's kind of like a psychic power, but it just goes off into 3. And there are various different benefits that you can get, also aura benefits you can get with the chaplain, which makes him pretty gnarly.
So I'm going to talk about my favourite one. I'm going to annoy you by doing this completely out of order. I'm going to talk about number 6 to start with.
Number 6.
+2 to your charge rolls.
Nice.
Seriously good. So how it works is you do these at the start of the battle round, so it doesn't matter if you've got first or second turn, and it acts as an aura to the end of your next turn. So you do this next to your chaplain. Maybe the more we're talking about, it's slightly difficult to get this right, but you do it next to your chaplain, then you deep strike all you guys in, then you need a 7-inch charge, don't you?
Yeah, it's just fantastic. And however, if you're a White Scar, they have a stratagem in there as well, which allows you to roll 3 dice and pick the highest 2 when it comes to working out your charge distance.
And they've also got a +1 to their charge as well.
With a relic.
Yeah. So yeah, all of a sudden you're going to be needing 6-inch charges.
Yeah. And in fact, there's a tactic as well that your Space Marines can choose for the successor tactics. And one of them, when you compose it, which we'll come on to later, is actually a +1 to your assault rolls as well. So
unfortunately, it doesn't stack with the relic, the White Scar's relic, which is a shame. It's almost like they play tested that as well.
But yeah, so this is fantastic. You have your chaplain there, guys deep striking down, and then they are getting in with that +3 essentially.
Yeah, we're talking about the best way to take him really, because the difficulty is you have to do the litanies of battle at the start of the battle round, so he has to be on the field and out of transport, doesn't he? Which I think that's the difficult bit, because originally they were like, oh, we'll stick him in one of the what's the new transport called, the Impulsor, not the Repulsor, the Impulsor. But then he wouldn't be on the field, so that wouldn't work. Then I was like, oh, deep strike him in with a jump pack, but again he wouldn't be on the field, so it wouldn't
but
work.
Again though, all you can do is move the Impulsor up. First turn, 14 inches, he gets that 3 inches.
Yeah.
He's there on the table. He then fires that action off. He gets to move.
Yeah.
So that's another 6 inches, or he could advance as well. So you're already talking 23 inches there at the table. And then he's got the aura buff on that as well. So
but he wouldn't have it at the start of the turn though, because he'd be in the transport.
No, you get him out of the transport turn 1.
But he wouldn't have it turn 1. As I'm saying, you can't be in the transport.
The guys aren't coming down till turn 2 anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this is a turn 2 thing. So turn 2, you've managed to get 20 odd inches up the board.
Or you just take a jump pack. Or I think you can still take them on bikes in the index.
No.
But he'll be on a different data sheet, so he probably wouldn't have the new rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. So jump pack, guys. Jump pack, but don't deep strike him.
Or stick him in a vehicle when he goes.
No, just don't pay attention to where he doesn't know what he's talking about.
You can go further with transport, but you're less reliant to reposition.
We said we're going to make this a really slick video and not waffle.
Great. It's the excitement and the fatigue. It's great.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's one of the traits he's got.
So if we spend 10 minutes on each one of these, it should be the longest video ever. Right, start the start now, just to mix them all up for you.
Sorry.
Yeah. So litanies of faith. This is the other one I really like. So this is a 5+, feel no pain or after damage save if you want to be all 8th edition about it. Within units within 6 of the model. So again, that's really good because it happens at the start of the battle round. You don't get first turn. It's just a nice way of mitigating damage, isn't it?
Yeah, and I really like this for like backfield objective holders, and we talked about earlier about the Eliminators sat at the back there, just soaking up firepower and just making it really difficult to get off targets ready.
Yep. Yeah, and it's units, it's not even models. It's just ridiculously good. The other ones we've got you can pick a unit within 6. If it targets the closest model, then you get +1 to your wind rolls. Which
I think this one can be quite nice. For me,
yeah, absolutely.
For me, this is going up with old Rhino Rush, or in this case, Impulsor Rush, going to tables, guys jumping out of vehicles, him jumping out at the same time.
It's only range weapons, though.
It's only range weapons and then shooting.
Yep.
And there's some other buffs as well we'll get onto a bit later that add to the bolt rifles and stuff now, which make them more effective. So +1 to wound, that's great.
Yeah. Then you've got... What's the next one you've got? You've got...
6+ to hit gives you an extra attack for units within 6 inches.
Garbage.
You don't like that?
No.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's just not as good as the others.
No.
The other one's a +1 attack and +1 strength and leadership to the actual chaplain himself.
No.
If you're going for a beat stick one, potentially useful, but when you compare it to the other ones, I don't think it's quite as efficient.
And you can give a +1 to hit as well. With a ranged weapon to one ranged weapon. Which again, could be quite nice if you found a really big gun in your Space Marine army.
Yeah, there you are.
You know, that could work. So that's the chaplain. We really like him. I think the feel no pain and more importantly the +2 to charge. That's where it's at.
Yeah, definitely. Great.
I think that's where you're going to see these combinations coming in. Any other standout units in the book we want to quickly touch on?
I think that's pretty much the bulk of the ones you wanted to talk about there, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd just quickly mention. I think bikes are now quite good.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, it's the stratagems that really make the difference on that.
Yeah, I think with the White Scar supplement, which we'll get into a lot more, the new beta bolter rules, the tactical rules to give you -1 AP on your bolt guns, the fact that White Scars can advance and charge, that's and they've got a whole bunch of stratagems in there as well. I think bike armies may actually come a little bit of a comeback.
Yeah, I definitely think so as well. Yeah,
they're pretty cheap now as well.
And there are so many other bonuses you can get with the White Scars. Touching on the White Scar stuff, we're getting quite excited, but they get a 4+ invulnerable save. In fact, all bikers can get a 4+ invulnerable save when they move for 1 command point.
Yeah.
Which, if they advance, becomes 3+. And if you're White Scar, you charge after that. There's also a stratagem with the White Scars as well, like shoot as well. So yeah, some really fantastic stuff with that.
So
really
I think they're the main ones to talk about, isn't it? Should we go over chapter tactics next?
Yeah, we touch on chapter tactics. The main thing really to point out with these is that there's the chapter tactics for 8 different chapters, and expecting, as hinted at in the on the community page, there's going to be 8 supplements. So I guess that it's probably going to be one for each of the chapters there.
Yeah. So I guess there's a balance to be had whether you're going to mix and match your chapter tactics or whether you're going to go for a pure chapter so you can get some of the shinier relics.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's going to boil down to, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, so inside the supplements themselves there are 2 essentially relics pages. There's a relic page, for this case just the White Scars, and there's a relic page there for White Scars and their successor chapters. Yeah. So by going pure White Scars, you get a little bit of a bonus in there.
Yeah. Right. I think most people know the chapter tactics already. Should we go over them all?
Yeah, I think the one thing that's probably worth noting there is they've talked on the community page about the chapter tactics that you get for successors, and essentially there's a 2-page spread in the book there where you can pick 2 parts of that to make your own chapter tactic, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's the component parts of the primary ones distilled down into individual components.
So you can get some ridiculously strong stuff in there, can't you? Some of my favourite ones are the 6-inch heroic intervention. Maybe if you were just taking a supreme command, that would be really nice. And as I said before, you can get the +1 to your charge rolls, which is massive if you're getting a deep striking army, isn't it?
But essentially, whatever the theme of your army is that you've come up with, there is a page in here that allows you to create a chapter tactic to suit what you like.
Exactly, and somewhere in there is a broken tournament combination as well, because on post nights I have not figured it out yet. Yeah, but there's something fluffy in there for someone else as well.
Yeah, so I like the fluffy side. He likes the hard side. It's fine. But I think this is a fantastic page, and thanks GW for sticking that there. It's great.
Off camera, he just wants all the ridiculous stuff.
One of us has to play the nice guy.
Okay, so the stratagems.
There are so many stratagems in this book. It's like 4 pages.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And then you got this one. And say if you had 2 different chapter tactics, then you got this one as well. Then you got your Vigilus book as well.
Yeah, you are spoiled. Most of the ones have been Vigilus have been brought over to these, and I think there's probably a couple missing from the old book as well.
Yeah,
like kill shot. I think you said that one's gone.
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, kill shot for your predators. I couldn't see that in there.
Yeah.
So we're quickly going to run through them. If it's the same as the last book, we're just going to say it's in there.
Yeah.
Okay. So Armour of Contempt and Auspex Scan are the same as the Bean. Suppression Scan for 2 suppression fire for 2 command points. You can make a whirlwind shoot twice wares or a thunderfire cannon. I'm never going to do that.
No. Jonah Whirlwind.
No.
No.
No, I don't. Only in Death Does Duty End. Still good. Still the same as before. Death to the Traitors. I'm still annoyed that you have to pay a command point for this versus the Chaos.
We'll just play Chaos, mate.
Maybe I will.
Maybe you will.
Maybe they don't have a million shiny books and tree stratagems from though.
No, not yet.
Actually, they do, to be fair. Honor the Chapter. Subtle change in this, isn't there?
Yeah, so this time it's anything that's adapted to Astartes, which includes things like Dreadnoughts.
Or repulsors.
Hey, your favourite, charging repulsors. Let's go
Fight twice.
Yeah. And he's coming up with a new meta, charging repulsors.
Yeah.
You heard it first here.
Yeah. Duty Eternal. Now this is actually really good.
I like this. So it pops off, it's 1 command point, and when it goes, you suffer half damage to the Dreadnought when it's
the end of the phase.
Yeah.
So if you've got Forge World Leviathan Dreadnought with a 4-up in one, 2-up, I mean, that thing. I think a Dreadnought list just having to pop off this stratagem for 1 command point is huge.
That is pretty gnarly, isn't it?
Then you've got various ways of doing mortar wounds. So you've still got your flak missiles, your hellfire, and you've got a new one called Hunter Slayer missile, which just sounds so cool.
Yeah. And this is on your repulsor tanks, and it's essentially against vehicles and monstrous creatures. I think it's 48-inch range. You roll to hit, and it suffers D3 mortal wounds. Is that about right?
Yep.
Perfect.
So again, really, really good. You've got Veteran Intercessors, which is from the Vigilus book, where
essentially you have +1 attack.
Yeah, so it's all right.
Boltstorm. I quite like this one. Boltstorm is if you got the assault bolters, which have a 24-inch range, and you shoot them within half range, they automatically hit. The key thing about this now is those bolters, rather than being 2 shots at assault, they're now 3 shots at assault.
Yeah, so I mean you're basically bypassing to hit modifiers as well at that point, aren't you?
Yeah.
Again, another hit to the Colexus.
Yeah, they're kind of like flamers, guaranteed flamers at that point, really, aren't they? And again, the nice thing about this, if you're using the tactical doctrine, they then come down to an AP -1. That's pretty gnarly. Again, Imperial Fists, ignoring covers with those as well.
Yeah. So next one I thought was really caught my eye was Gravitic Amplification. This could be 7th edition again.
Yeah.
So essentially, to the end of the phase, you have when resolving attacks with grav weapons, you re-roll the wound rolls and the damage rolls.
That's nice, isn't it?
For 1 command point on a bunch of Grav Centurions. People probably have Grav Centurions still lying around.
Because that's 1 command point. At some point, you'd probably re-roll one of those damage rolls anyway, and you're getting that with all of them.
That's huge. It's huge, and re-rolling all wounds on top. So I think all of a sudden those Grav Centurions actually come quite strong.
Yeah.
Masterful Marksmanship.
I really like this one. So your Stalker bolter rifles now get to shoot at characters. It's 3 command points, and they can shoot
1 command point.
Sorry, 1 command point. My bad.
But yeah, they've got to be veterans, haven't they?
No,
they don't.
So muscle. I've got confused with this one.
No, this is the Sternguard veteran squad, so you get +1 to wound. I think they had that anyway.
Yeah.
But interestingly, you could give them another +1 to wound from the Chaplain as well, couldn't you?
Yes.
So I think there's a nice little buff stack there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's ridiculously strong, in fact.
Yeah. So the rapid fire one.
Yep.
This is the Intercessor squad, and this allows them to essentially their bolt rifles become rapid fire 2, and that's what 2 command points.
That is 2 command points. Yeah.
That's quite nice actually. So if you're within 12 inches, that's 4 shots. Sorry, not 12 inches. At half range, I can't do the math right now, 15 inches, you are firing 4 shots at those guys. That's great. Again, thinking about getting out of vehicles and stuff, and lots of shots, that's perfect.
So we've got Orbital Bombardment, which is the same. You've got Relics of the Chapter, which you can only take 1 now. I imagine because in the supplement books you can also take Relics as well.
Yes.
And additional Warlord traits, which we'll come on to later. Hammer of Wrath. Each model which ends enters within an inch, you can, which is a jump pack unit, you score a mortal wound on a 5+. I guess it's situational.
Yeah. Big guns never tire. I quite like that one. It means they, for 1 command point, vehicles don't suffer the -1 to hit when they move, which can be fairly good. It could be clutch at points.
Fury of the First. +1 to the hit rolls for Terminators. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, bring back the Termies.
Maybe not.
No. I don't know, I think they could still be good.
Yeah. So the one I wanted to talk about, target sighted. 3 command points. Your stalker rifles become sniper rifles. Essentially, they get to target characters, which is great. And in addition, if they roll a 6 to wound, it's an additional mortal wound. Bear in mind now, the changes that happen to this weapon, they're now 2 damage. That's pretty gnarly, actually. You can really take some characters out with that. And
it's a 6+ mortal wound. So you could stack it with your Chaplain for +1 to wound.
Yeah.
So you're bouncing off mortal wounds on 5s now.
Yeah, that's really nice. I've noticed that. I like that. I like that.
3 command points there. I think purely for the sniping point of view, the Eliminators are better.
Yeah.
But I mean, these guys have got a buff because they're 2 damage guns now, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's definitely good. And I think the ability to do mortal wounds on 5s with quite a lot of shots could be good as well.
Yep.
Tremor shells is still cool for the Thunderfire cannons. Essentially halves the movement phase of stuff which isn't fly or Titanic. Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah, that's good.
Anytime you can manipulate movement, that's something you really want to be doing wherever you can, really.
Yeah, we've got Wisdom of the Ancients, which is the same as it was before. Skyfire. I don't even know what a Hunter and Stalker is.
It's a Rhino chassis thing designed for anti-air.
Yeah.
It came out.
I don't think I've ever seen it being played.
No, you don't see that often. They were quite big once.
Yeah.
Steady Advance. That's quite a nice one. Essentially, your Astartes infantry gain Bolt of Discipline even if they've moved, which is quite useful. That's only 1 command point.
Wish my Deathwatch got that.
Yeah.
They're like the naughty child which is shut out of all the rules at the moment.
Deathwatch are good enough right now.
Like everyone gets it apart from Deathwatch. Dude, you stand in the corner, Deathwatch.
Yeah. Skilled Riders. I quite like this one. So Skilled Riders gives the bikers and I think land speeders a 4+ invuln when they move, and if they advance, it gives a 3+. So you tally that with White Scars. That could be pretty gnarly.
So you basically charge at the board, go into combat for 2 CP, then you've got a 3-up invuln for the next turn.
Yeah. So it's only against shots. So if they stay in combat, then they're not going to get the buff for it. But if they kill the unit or the unit then withdraws, 3-up invuln. Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you.
Yeah. Hero of the Chapter.
Yeah, so you can take an extra Warlord trait,
and some of the Warlord traits are really nice, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I think you're going to be doing that a lot of the games with 1 command point, getting that extra buff on your. There's so many buffs in this book now, and I just think having that extra one in there is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or transhuman physiology.
This is good.
This is good because I think one of the main problems I had with Primaris Marines or Space Marines in general was if they didn't have a storm shield, they were kind of squishy.
Yeah. But this one, it means that any wound roll of a 1, 2, or 3 is ignored. So if you've got your big Titan stamping down where it's normally wounding on a 2, now it's only wounding on a 4+.
Yeah, I think that's huge.
Yeah, that's really
2 CP, but I think. Just even people knowing that you can do that means that they've got to dedicate a lot more resources into like getting that kill.
Yeah.
Because you can quite easily, deny people.
But you can bog a unit down with that, can't you?
Yeah.
You've reduced effectiveness unit by 50%.
Yeah. So things where you're like, oh, I'm going to charge that knight in. Those guys are just dead. All of a sudden, they can't just count on that.
No.
Another ridiculously strong one here. Vengeance of the Machine Spirit. So when you finally kill your repulsors or your land raiders or your storm ravens, they can now also blow up.
Yeah, 2 command points.
It's just
the knights have something similar, don't they? And it's fantastic.
How many do they blow up? Is it D3 mortal wounds to everyone, or is it going to be a D6?
I think it's D6.
D3 for the Storm Raven, and then the Repulsor blows up D6 mortal wounds. That's for the Executioner. I'll have a look up on the other one in a moment.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's D6 as well. So yeah, that's quite a lot of mortal wounds to be dropping nearby to people. So
I think that's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge for 2 command points. That's amazing. 6 inches, D6 mortal wounds. Then you have tactical flexibility, which is the same. You've got adaptive strategies where you can change around your tactical doctrines from the looks of things.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be very useful at times. Other one then, it's...
Gene-wrought might.
Oh, so this is in close combat, I think. If the Primaris infantry score a 6 to hit, it's an automatic wound. Which, bearing in mind that you can have a lot more attacks going through, actually, there's a better chance of you rolling 6s to hit.
Yeah, 6s to hit and then not even having to wound roll.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with some of the traits now, you can get extra +1 to hit as well, so that'd be going up on 5s.
Oh, it's an unmodified 6.
It's unmodified. Damn it. They scuppered my plan. They know how I think.
You just imagine when they write the codex, is everything's like you can modify it, and then you get this one crazy play test where like the White Scars need like a 3-inch charge, and they're getting exploding 6s and the mortal wounds everywhere, and then someone sensible comes along and is like, no. Just stop it.
But that's it for the stratagem. So I think you can see there's some really nice stratagem there, and that's really before you even touch on what's in the supplements as well. So Space Marines have gained a really nice tactical buff, I think, for the stratagems there.
There's some notable ones which are missing. I think it's just kill shot, I think, from memory.
Yeah.
And obviously the chapter specific ones just aren't in there anymore.
Yeah, because they're all in your codex.
And I think Space Marines needed some new stratagems because they were pretty garbage before, weren't they?
But I think they've got some real nice ones here, and then some real nice buffs here to Primaris Space Marines as well, which is kind of what they need, I think.
There's no deep strike mechanic.
No, so there's no like.
I was kind of hoping they would have some sort of thing, but I guess they've got other ways. You could use a drop pod.
Use a drop pod.
Yeah.
That's about it, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I imagine that sort of stuff will come at a future date.
Yeah. Okay, so next up we have the Relics. We're just going to quickly touch on the Relics. I don't think there's any huge standout Relics there. I'm probably completely wrong, and in a few months everyone's going to be using one of these, but we've still got the 2 old standbys, the Armour Indomitus and Shield Eternal.
Yep, pretty solid go-tos.
Yeah, they're pretty much exactly the same as they were before.
I think with the really nice relics come out is actually in the supplement books themselves.
Yeah.
Especially the +1 to
+1 to your charges.
Charges in the White Scars, fantastic.
But the actual basic relics here, apart from those two ones I mentioned, there's nothing ridiculously good to write home about. They're all just weapons. They're all kind of good, but they're not amazing.
Yeah. It makes your character more characterful by giving a slightly better weapon than they would normally have.
There's one here, the Vox, I can't pronounce the last name, Espiritum.
Yeah.
That increases your buff ranges by 3. Again, if you're playing a very buff-centric army, not with Gilliman, then that would be good. I think it's probably quickly worthwhile. Should we talk about psychic powers, and should we talk about any key points changes?
Yeah, absolutely.
So psychic powers, Librarius Discipline is pretty much the same as it was before. Exact same powers. The only change that I can see in here is Null Zone is now Warp Child 7 rather than 8.
Yeah, that's
fair enough. I thought Null Zone was already quite situational at best, so I think it's quite good they've done that.
7's reasonable, I think, for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. The Obscuration Discipline, it looks pretty much the same as it was before. To be honest, I haven't gone over in a huge amount of detail.
No. Cool. So let's chat about it about points changes then, Andy.
Yeah. So bear in mind, we have not had these codexes for long at all, but we've gone through to see if there's any blindingly obvious points changes, or any obvious ability changes. I think number one you need to know about is the big guy himself has been slightly nerfed. Robuto. He took a hit, and I can see why. Basically, he no longer re-rolls all wounds. He re-rolls 1s to wound.
which I think is pretty reasonable. It made it very difficult to bring balance to the other codexes with that.
Yeah, it's like whatever you point a unit at, he'll just make it ridiculous.
Yeah. So bring it down to ones. It's not ideal. It's not necessarily.
No one likes nerfs, do they? But
No,
at the same
it's-
time, you get it.
Yeah, I get it. And the nice thing about it is that actually they brought the points down by 50 points, I think.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
he's 350 now, isn't he?
350. Which
He's still a beat stick in combat.
Yeah,
He
I
still
think
still gets
350.
back up. He's still
yeah, I think 350 for him is still pretty reasonable.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see whether people are still using them or not. Apart from that, repulsors look like they've gone up in points, don't they?
Yes, they've gone up to 215 points now.
Yeah. From what was the base? It was.
I think it was 185 previously.
So that's a little 30-point increase, isn't it?
Yep.
But again, you were starting to see they were coming in quite a lot. I don't know whether. Essentially, I think they were just coming in next to Rabute. So I'm not sure whether that's one of those sort of classic little double nerfs. But at the same time, I think with repulsors getting chapter tactics now and all the rest of it,
Yeah.
all the Space Marine vehicles have just got that little bit more efficient, and they were already quite efficient.
When you look at all that, the repulsor was actually pretty good anyway. And then when you added the new doctrines that they get,
Yeah,
30-point hike isn't too bad,
yeah.
actually. And then the other one, which makes Andy really sad, is Thunderhammers.
Did you? It annoys me because it's clearly going to be across all the board soon, and I think for combat Marines don't actually have that many good weapons. You know, a flat 3 damage Thunderhammer going up to 40 points.
Yeah. What were they previously?
21. I already thought 21 was
Yeah.
pretty pricey.
Yeah, flat 3. Yeah, especially when you put it in the hands of a captain. He's getting extra attack now as well.
Yeah, I mean the extra attack's nice, I guess, and it is all right. But at the same time, 40 points for a Thunderhammer seems a little bit steep.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. There probably are a few little tweaks here and there, but generally everything we've looked at is pretty much on what the chapter approved points were.
And it was a quick scan that went through, but that was the only point changes we could really see. So.
Yeah. But let us know if you find any more. Comment below. Let us know what you think about them.
So let's talk about chapter tactics now. There are some really nice changes in addition to what they had previously, and they've really tightened them up and given a lot more flavour to the chapter itself.
I've been banned from holding the book, by the way.
So I've got the book now because you can't turn pages right.
No.
So let's have a look at the Ultramarines one. So essentially the Ultramarines, they get +1 leadership, which is it's okay. Leadership doesn't really come into things too much, but it can do occasionally. But the really nice thing about this is they get to fall back from combat and still shoot at a -1 to hit.
Yeah, I think that's huge. Depends what sort of style list you're playing. If you're going repulsor heavy or fly heavy, it's probably not worth doing that.
But things like dreadnoughts, etc.
Oh yeah,
that's quite a buff for them. The one I quite like, which isn't necessarily the most powerful, but stylistically I really like it, Imperial Fists. Essentially, they ignore cover saves, and when they're firing bolt-type weapons on a 6 to hit, it scores an additional hit. I think it's quite a solid one. It works well with some of the assault bolters and things like that, I think. Centurions, fantastic.
Yeah.
The one you really like, though, and I think is going to be really key, is White Scars. And we've talked about that quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, we are on a bit of a White Scar fanboy trip at the moment,
we
aren't
are.
Yeah.
So that even if they get to advance and fall back, the biker can not suffer any penalties for shooting, which is great.
I think that's good, and it's the advance and charge.
Yeah. For
And
me,
that's
the
and a
thing,
fall
isn't
back
it?
and charge. I mean, because the bikers tend to be quite a close range unit. So
Yeah. So essentially, anytime these guys advance to get the table, they're going to be going. If they're bikes, that's 20 inches,
yeah,
and they can still shoot without penalty, and they're still charging. Fantastic.
yeah. So they can't shoot their bolt guns because they're rapid fire.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But they can shoot their assault weapons.
Yeah, fantastic.
So I think that's really good. Raven Guard.
See, I really like the change they've made with this, and I'm really hoping that Latok and the other sort of -1 to hit units get this sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this was needed for a long time,
Yeah.
particularly with the Eldar Air Force going around at the moment.
So essentially the change with this one is that if you're outside of 12 inches, you count as being in cover, which is
Yeah.
great. And if you're a non-vehicle unit and you're actually in cover, you're -1 to hit.
Yeah, I think that's nice. I think
Yeah.
that means you've got to stick to cover to actually get that -1 rather than just being...
Yeah. And as we touched on earlier, it works really nice with the Eliminators.
They're
or
ridiculous.
anything with a camo cloak, really. It's now got a -1 to hit and a
+2 to the save.
yeah +2 to the save. So in cover, that's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Salamanders. What's Salamanders one? So that is...
It's pretty much whenever they're choosing to fight or shoot, you can re-roll a single hit roll, you can re-roll a single wound roll with resolving attacks, and also any shots that shoot at them that are on -1 counts as being 0 AP characteristic.
Yeah, I think that's great, isn't it?
It's just inbuilt re-rolls, 1 re-roll per squad, which is nice, really, really nice. And you know, think about how many command re-rolls you use in a game. It's just inbuilt to a unit. That's
yeah,
fantastic.
and I think there's going to be a lot of -1 shots coming around, particularly with all these tactical doctrines coming around now, with everything being -1. Actually, I think if you're playing another Marine player, that's...
Do you know what? I hadn't really thought about that. Actually, that's quite key, actually.
Yeah, because you think there's not that much -1, and you think all of a sudden there's a lot.
Yeah, because I actually think -1 is the best AP.
Well, you think Thousand Suns, all their troops are really survivable because do they ignore -1? I think they do.
Yeah, I think so.
I could have made that up. Someone check that out for me.
You just make up your own rules anyway, it's fine.
I do. I've made a whole channel about making stuff up.
How about the Iron Hands? What do you like about this topic?
Well, I'll tell you the truth, Wes, I haven't read that. Because you took the book off.
It's essentially all these guys have a 6+ armor after damage save, so which is really nice. It makes them a bit more resilient.
Yeah.
And when they resolve Overwatch, they hit on 5s and 6s.
Mm.
And it's a very stoic sort of Iron Hands thing to do, I guess.
Do you know what I like about saving damage on 6s?
What's that?
Is that it really annoys your opponent because they never expect you to happen. And it's just so smug if you roll like 3 6s or something.
Yeah, there's something really glorious about those.
Yeah, it just puts your opponent completely on tilt.
Yeah. Black Templars.
Yeah.
This is nice. They get to re-roll their charge rolls, which is great, and they get to, was it a 5+? They ignore mortal wounds that are dealt to them.
And it's not just reroll charge. I think you can reroll either of the dice rather than the whole
Yes,
dice
yeah.
result. So again, that's statistically a lot more likely
Any or all of the dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
So it's like the orc, here we go sort of thing, isn't it?
Yep. And then the final one you got then is Crimson Fists. It's very similar to the Imperial Fists, where you get, when you find bolt weapons, if you roll 6 to hit, you get an additional hit. But they also have a +1 to hit roll in combat if they're outnumbered by 5 or more models, with the vehicle counted as 5 models as well.
Yeah.
It's a nice bonus. Personally, I like the Norse cover one in Imperial Fist, but you can see there, it fits with the narrative, Andy, which is like this background story of each of these guys, how they work. But
I've read a couple of the books.
But actually, it works really nicely with the actual tactical play there as well. There's some really nice bonuses to each of the armies.
And there's a couple of quite strong detachments, isn't there? I think for the Imperial Fist and Crimson Fist, they've both got quite strong detachments outside of this as well, so it's worth just having a look at those to see which one's the strongest for your style of play. And obviously you can mix and match the tactics one that's in there, where all of these are broken down and you can just pick little bits of them, but then you don't get access to chapter specific relics. So when we're going to be discussing the actual supplements, you'll notice that you get shut down off a part of the book, don't you?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you want to be chapters? No.
Yeah. You get the bonus of choosing your own successor tactics,
But you don't get the fancy relics.
you don't get options to all the fancy relics. There's still some really nice relics in there. So
I'm really excited to see whether people will choose the actual chapter tactics or whether they're going to go for these mix and match ones, and what actually is going to come out of this book, because there's so much in it. There's so much in it that, you know, at the moment you just can't see what is the best combos here.
no, I've been giggling like a schoolboy all day because there have just been so many different combinations you have here, and my mind is absolutely boggled with the different sort of computations you can have with this book.
I think it's going to be some sort of combination of +1 to charge out. Deep Strike is probably going to be there.
Yeah.
But that's my feeling on it. But there's so many different ones. Well, the White Scar advance and charges in there as well is also really strong, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'd say. Yeah, so far, really, I think the White Scar one is my real standout one.
Yeah.
And I think Raven Guard's still pretty solid, actually.
I think for Eliminators, they're amazing, aren't they?
Yeah. I think I'm going to get 3 squads of Eliminators. I like those.
Yeah. I think anything in 40k which massively increases your survivability, I think that's the thing to go for, maybe over offensive output, because that relies on getting first turn usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my take on it anyway.
What's your take? What have you liked so far?
Yeah. See if you've come up with any crazy little combinations.
And actually, if you've got any ideas about what you'd like to cover in later videos with these books, then please drop us a line and we'll see if we can make a video up this week for you.
Yeah. So guys, this is it for our review of the new Space Marines Codex. If you check out the video up here, we're going to be having a review of the new White Scar supplement as well. Woo! And we've been like fanboys on this one, so be sure to check that one out because it's awesome.
Quickly get on eBay and buy up bikes, just saying.
Take care, guys.
See you soon.